Good evening all. How the devil are we? Hope you're all well. Thank you very much for coming over and joining us for another special guest airworm. Let's bring the boys in while we're waiting. Here they all are sitting there patiently in the background.
What were we waiting for?
What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? They're all going on one, aren't they? They're all going on one. So anyway, massive thank you to Stewart for coming and joining us. Hope you're well, sir.
I am.
Good, good. We're looking forward to hearing what you've been doing in the last year of freedom. Because I think last time you came on here, you was just about to retire, I believe, last time you came on here.
Oh, right. Yeah, I was trying to remember if I'd retired or not. But yeah, oh, yeah, there's plenty to talk about then.
Oh, good. So, and also Brian, thank you very much, Brian. And obviously Pete's standing in for welcome. Terry, because Terry's still AWOL. So
on holiday.
On holiday.
Again.
So anyway, Pete's standing in. So thank you, Pete. Thank you, Brian. Very much appreciated.
You're welcome.
Right. So, as always, quickly before we start, don't forget to get your hashtag pictures over to me by the end of play next Friday. I've had a few come in already, so they look really good. And I've already started putting them on the montage, but there is still room for more. So if you've got your pictures of your candlestick, no, not candlestick, candle stand, then make sure you send them over to me before next Friday at skcrafts@btnnet.com. I had to think about that one then. So, other than that, right, so I'm going to be turning in the background, as always with the special guest airworm. The night is about asking Stuart questions, whether it be what he's been doing, what he's got coming up, colouring, techniques, you name it. Stuart's here to answer, hopefully. Within reason, obviously.
I was thinking you should ask colourful questions of Stuart, and I thought, probably shouldn't say it that way.
Yeah, maybe not.
So I have a blank on the lathe. It's around about 90 mil thick by about 240 mil across. It's a piece I pulled out of the rack today, and I've just cut roughly with the bandsaw. But I'm not. It don't look the best bit of wood, but we're going to see what we get out of it. If it's not too good, then I'll just splash some colour on it and cover it all up. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So Ah, Lucy. Shame. Sorry, Lucy. So right,
Lucy's in.
I'm gonna go over to the lathe, and then Brian's gonna welcome you all in.
What?
Yeah, you're welcome, Brian. Well done.
Oh, okay.
Well volunteered.
That's good. Gee, thanks, Pete. Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to Special Guest Earworm with Short. We have people joining us. Our Martin Shepherd, who was first in, as usual.
Got no camera.
Quick off the mark this evening, Martin. Raymond Wise and Malcolm Douglas. Andy the Valley Woodturner, who apparently some internet problems because he is the partner of Lucy Super Tito.
Can I interrupt for a minute?
I've got
Steve,
no
you've gone
camera.
black.
Yeah, I know. I've got no camera.
Steve, that's a black thing.
Yeah, I know.
Do something.
I'm trying. Right.
It's usually the voice that goes. That might not be the right camera.
There we go.
There you go.
There you go.
Right,
Right.
you can get back at it now. Go on ahead. So I'll go back to reading out who's in. Andy the Valley Woodturner, as I said, who's in. Paul Finlay of Woodturning at Home. Tony Glen Cove is with us as well. Vinnie Charlton. Mr. Mike Evans has joined us as well. James Dunn. Andrew from Wavy Woodshed. Tony Smith. Nigel Harvey. Albert Dawson. Christine and Michael Hestday. Welcome along. Stalwarts of everybody's channel, I think, is Christine and Michael. Steve Fleming, Simon Mason, Lucy of the Bundy Rover variety. I've just seen Mike from Dances with Aardvarks is in. I think I said Todd Glencove did.
Did you?
Who else? Have I missed anybody? I don't think I have. Currently, we have 53 people watching. I didn't read out 53 names. There'll be a few lurkers in the background. And Robert Botwood has just joined us. Good evening, Robert.
Lurking in the background.
Lurkers. Frederick Day just joined us as well.
Right. So
Frederick says, good evening from an average autumnal day in the county of Kent. Well, it's that autumnal here. I have my heating on, so.
Good evening, Frederick.
Think yourself lucky.
So, does anybody know what this is?
I
know. Oh yeah, I knew that was coming, especially from Beach.
It's a round piece, no, semi-round.
And I'll show you. I'll show you what the bark looked like. Let me just grab a bit like off bark. Where is it? Here it is. Where's William when you need him?
Yeah, where is William? Come to think of that, where is William?
So this is the bit. This is a bit of bark that come off of it.
Singapore, no?
I don't know what it is.
Don't know.
It's very yellow. Got some nice green in it too, so we'll just have to see.
I don't know if it's a bit punky there though. But we'll see.
We're about to find out.
We'll find out.
Find out in a minute.
We're about to find out.
So anyway, I'm going to start shaping this.
So Lucy's a bit depressed that she can't get you on the big screen, Steve.
You lucky thing, Lucy.
That's what I was thinking too. Be a very big screen to get Steve on.
Actually, put it on the right camera, that won't it?
Who is MBEE Woodturning? He says, good evening, everyone. I hope I haven't missed anything. You haven't missed a thing.
Good evening. Welcome
Mike thinks it could be London Plain, which is a variety of sycamore, if I'm not mistaken.
A hybrid, yeah.
Maple sycamores are all much the same thing.
Oh, look at that nasty bit of tear out.
Texture and colour.
I know what kind of food this is. It's firewood.
It's going to be in a minute if I ain't careful.
Most of the wood I turn is firewood.
Yep, me too.
After I finish turning it.
Ah, well, that's because you have a point chance of setting fire to things when they're done.
I do.
Raymond Wise, question. Stuart, are you singing and busking? Are you still singing and busking? Says
Still singing and busking. Yeah, the busking is something my wife is very excited to do. It's something I'm less excited about.
All right.
I do have to do some. I've got some coming up on Sunday, actually.
Excellent.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I did after retiring was to take part in the Edinburgh Festival, the Fringe, last August last year. A small musical show that Elspeth, my wife, had written with some original songs and the story. And we've got another show that's taking place in Brighton we're doing a short version of it on Sunday at the Apple Fair Festival,
Very good.
Stanmer Park in Brighton. A couple of performances, and then we've got a ticketed event that we're selling tickets for a week on Sunday in a little black box studio, a new venue that's opened up in Brighton.
Is there a web link for that or something to buy the tickets from?
Yeah, I could dig one out and put it into the chat in a moment. Yes, yeah.
Tell me this, Stuart. Was your wife a teacher also?
No. She eschewed university, and and a friend did secretarial training, which was very lucrative in the mid '80s. So they came to me when I went to university in London, and we rented a flat together.
Right.
And they both got jobs. We were very naive, not realizing how big London was. And I was at Goldsmiths College in the southeast of London, but we based all our trips up to London, first of all, by going to Victoria, which was about an hour of travel away from where we ended up living. So after they'd done their first jobs in Victoria, they signed on to London Bridge Manpower, and they got secretarial jobs in the City of London. And Elspeth got offered quite a few jobs that were paying a lot of good money, but they earned enough so that we could buy a house the following year. So I had a very atypical student life.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
But Ellie from Wooden Burl has just joined us, and she has a question for you there, Stuart.
Oh, yeah.
Stuart subtly circulated his book at an event in Colchester Demo. Is there anywhere to purchase it? As I only had a chance to flick through it briefly.
Oh, there was a short window of opportunity. The story behind the book is it is a vanity publishing project designed to make travel lighter when I go away and do demos. I had the chance to go to the Irish seminar a couple of years ago, and I wanted to take some examples of things along with me. And I thought, well, photographs would be better than another suitcase full of wood. So I got one printed. It was about 30 quid. So I only have one. And then the company that produced them wrote to me to say, we're changing our system. Your book will be deleted. But so if you want to print it again, this is the time to do it. And one, I put out if anyone wants it, it'll cost this much. I'm not making any money from it, but not many people wanted to pay £30 for a book of my wood turning. So sadly, no, it's not available anywhere. I do now have a PDF version of it though, because the company have either closed or moved onto a different platform. So I guess I could put it up on my website. So I could do that as a virtual copy for you.
You can publish it as a Kindle book.
Oh, right. So, yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
I did that. I did a photo book for my granddaughter. So I made her a chair and I did a little book of how it was made. And a friend of mine's an author and he wanted to get into Kindle publishing.
Mm-hmm.
So I published my photo book on Kindle just to figure out how to work it.
Yeah.
And I made 60 quid off it the first year.
Oh, wow.
That was all right, what?
I make about 10p a year off it in sort of residual sales now. But,
time you promoted it then.
Yeah, it's just out there.
A few more people joined us since we opened up a bit of conversation there. Roy the boys in, Baz from Real Simple Things, Susie the Swiss troublemaker is in. Oh, sorry, Susie the Swiss wood tunnel. And Spirit and Bear are in. Kev and Phil.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all well.
Good evening, guys.
Good evening, all. Now, Susie hasn't caused you any trouble in over a month, Brian. I don't know what your problem is.
That's because I haven't done anything, Pete. Because I've been absent for a while.
That's true. If you were still doing your life, she would be causing you trouble.
She would be causing trouble, yeah. Guaranteed. So don't forget, guys, if you have any questions at all for Stuart, pop them in the chat. And we'll see, can we do our best to wring the answers out of Stuart.
Ring.
Question there for you, Brian, from Andy. How are you?
I'm doing okay, Andy. I've actually got a touch of the cold in a minute. You might hear that in my voice, but whether that helps or not, I don't know. But the current issue is that I'm waiting for builders to fix my shed. Everything in my shed is up against one wall currently. I'm waiting for the builders to come and put new doors and windows in for me. But they're proving difficult to get here, as is the case with most builders, I'm led to believe.
Hey, go careful.
But no, apart from Steve, who obviously turns up instantly when you ask him to turn up.
No, I
there.
don't.
He's there before you finish the sentence, probably. But yeah,
No.
that'll be right.
No,
You're
don't
a
mean to.
builder as well. Don't be giving me any of that nonsense.
If I'm going to be there, I do turn up when I'm meant to be there, not just,
Yeah, well,
disappear off the face of the earth.
I know exactly where my builder is, but he's currently he's about a mile round the corner from my house, building a new house. So he ain't coming here while he's building a new house.
No.
Yeah, Andy Woodward Leonard's joined and he says, as is Rexby, but Andy says, glad to hear you're still alive, Brian. Always wonder every day. No, you don't, Andy. Don't lie to me, Argentina. Oh, Stuart has popped in that thing for the tickets.
Yeah, 3 o'clock Sunday. Yeah, there are 19 tickets left. So
Wow.
I won't tell you how big the venue is, though.
It holds
21.
25. It holds 25 people.
30.
30. Yeah.
That does seem to be cutting very nicely there, Steve. That doesn't look as though it was punky at all.
No, it's I'm trying to do push cuts rather than pull cuts, but still a little bit punky there. Might be texture in it, yeah.
But Roy the boy's question, I think, is pretty self-evident. He says, Stuart, since you've given up teaching at school, are you working harder now than before?
Absolutely not. I can seriously say absolutely not. I think I saw Roy. I think Ely Woodturners, isn't it? Roy's a member, and that was just a few days after retiring. I went did a demo there in April last year, and I was generally pretty exhausted and tired and just getting it took several months really to get used to the pace of life not being frenetic and mad and doing things at 100 miles per hour, and I don't really want to go back at all to doing anything at 100 miles per hour. I mean, I'm lucky, very lucky, that when I took up the job as a teacher, I took out an extra pension, and it seemed probably one of the most sensible things I've ever done. So I do need to earn some more money to have the pleasurable things of life, but I don't have to work.
Yeah, having the bills paid is the important part, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I've had a chance. I went away for 2 months this year to Portugal, where I probably did work very hard, actually. My son and his partner bought a derelict house for the princely sum of €16,000.
Wow.
They've spent a few more thousand on it now, but it's they've got one big living kitchen room, a small bedroom, and then potential in the back half of the house when they get a wall rebuilt at the back of it to have another couple of bedrooms and a bathroom and maybe a little sort of craft room as well.
Nice.
So that was lovely. I had 2 months there with my granddaughter as well. I mean, that's time consuming, but I never thought being a grandpa would be such fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm spoiled because she thinks I'm amazing.
Yeah, well, that's true. Why you think that's why you're spoiled, but that is true.
Oh, well, I expect she'll see through me one day. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, when she's about 17, probably, yeah.
Probably. I said, what have you got another tattoo for and piercing for?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great fun. It's great fun. And she was here for a month as well, of all of August. So, there's no stuff going on demonstration-wise. Although August was a good month. I've finally got round to doing my RPT membership application and got the assessment done.
Excellent. Who came to assess your workshop?
Because I've got such a wonderful camera setup, It was done virtually, but I had to
Done
sort of point my
remote.
camera into all of the corners, and
Excellent.
here's the metal cupboard, and there's the fire extinguisher, and yes, here are the guards of all my tools. So it was great. It was Les Simmons
Okay.
from North Wales, but also on the call were Darren Breeze and David Ides from the RPT. So
Cool.
they especially remarked upon how clean and tidy my workshop was.
Did you clear up?
Did
Did
you?
you?
What the next question then is who cleaned it for you?
Oh, I clean my own workshop.
Stop it. Stop
Yeah,
it.
they said, "Is it normally that clean?" And I said, "No, but you know, when you have visitors, you've got to make an effort."
You make an effort, yeah.
Yeah.
Lucy says, because I live under a rock, what does Stuart teach?
Ah, yes, I taught English, mostly GCSE English language and literature, also drama and media studies earlier on in my career. And then I was head of school for years 10 and 11. So all their behaviour needs, tantrums, disasters,
Interesting.
emotional support, mental behavioural support, pastoral support. And that's really what wore me out. And that's especially after COVID. And when a financial advisor said, "Oh, you could do this and this and this and this," and oh, okay. I also had a chat a couple of years ago. I did a demo up in Colchester, and there was a guy there who taken early retirement, was talking to me about once you realise you're working for half pay. Well, that's what once I'd realised, he said I was working for half pay. I thought, oh, stuff that. I'll take my pension now, then half pay, and I'll go and do something else. And I thought, I'd never really looked at it in that way. So, yeah. So I mean, the first year of retirement was an absolute roller coaster of things. The exhaustion to get over, but then I had the chance to go to Spain and Austria and Greece to do stuff at wood turning events. And I thought, I've got to really appreciate this year because it's not going to happen every year. But I'll get all these invitations. In fact, Helen Bailey's at the Spanish seminar that I went to last year, which is just starting. I think it's this weekend, actually. Possibly.
It is, yeah.
It is, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it was a fab year.
And John M has put a comment there. He says he's hoping to use both colour and texture today.
And John?
Yeah, Steve normally has steered clear of colour when I'm on. I don't know if he's got a fear of a teacher or anything, but I'm not a teacher anymore. I'm a normal person.
He's going to use colour tonight, for sure.
I am, to cover this bit of wood.
Rex B says, question, does anyone use the Coronet Falcon tailstock accessories? Not sure I've heard of the Coronet tailstock accessory.
No, me.
Coronet Falcon tailstock. I'll need to look that up now and see what that is.
All right, I think we've recovered that. Oops. Do.
I just see that.
Right, it's the step centers and life centers.
Oh, that's what it is.
Is that the set from Record Power?
Yes.
We have a set at the club. They're very good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've not used them myself, but Ruby, who obviously is a ambassador for Record Power,
Yes.
has used them and she highly recommends them.
That's the ones with the sprung point, etc.
Spring and a screw so you can adjust the tension.
That's correct.
They've got multiple tips, haven't they?
That's right. 100%.
Yeah, I've not used them myself, but I've heard they are good.
He said they're on sale in the US for $99 for the set. $99. That's probably about what, 80 quid here.
Yeah, about 80, 90 quid. It's depends what's in the set, really, whether it's good value or not.
I don't know if you looked it up, so I'll just quickly look it up and see. Universal Live Centre, it's called. Accepting
It's 80 quid here.
and it's £79.99 including the VAT. Comes as a strange looking knockout bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different tips, and the main body of the assembly itself.
Now I do have the Axminster version of that,
I
and
do as
occasionally
well.
it comes in handy. Most of the time it's just got a point on it, but occasionally you want to use one of the other bits in the kit.
The simplest thing for me to do there is this is from Yandles. This link that I've just found. If you want to have a look at that Coronet thing, Coronet Falcon system, that's the link. But I can't pass comment because I haven't used it. But I'd suggest that most of my record pair stuff, any record pair stuff I've bought, has been pretty good quality. Can't see why that would be any different.
Steve, can you remember getting an email from Frederick Day for the hashtag week?
Candlestick one, yep.
Yep, you got that.
Yep.
Yeah, Frederick, you got that one.
Yes, I got your candlestick one.
You think she's been barred or something, or blocked or something?
Blocked?
He
What's
says
been blocked?
Well,
says
he's had
too
problems
many.
getting emails through, so.
Yeah, says too many of my emails seem to go missing. Questions are being missed, says Roy the boy. Frederick.
Yeah, there was one earlier from Martin about, I haven't mentioned I got my tutor badges for the AWGB as well.
Oh,
So
good
that
man.
was something else in the summer. So I've got some nice well, I haven't got my RPT badges yet, but my sister-in-law's just started a sewing business, and I thought, I'll get her to make me some smocks that I can sew my badges on.
Just the very thing, Stuart. Like
have you got a new one?
Like these.
Very nice. Very nice.
My logo on it.
Yeah.
But I still have to get all these dopey badges signed on.
Well, as she's sewing it, I think I'll give her the badges to sew on as
dopey
well.
Badges,
oh,
dopey
there we
badges.
go.
Dopey badges are all over the place. Got loads of them. Haven't sewed them on anything yet. But never mind.
Well, I see in the comments that Lucy didn't enjoy English, but also that she was at Yandles when I was demonstrating a few weeks ago, and I entertained her 4-year-old. I remember that.
There you go.
That was a great day. Yandles is just about manageable there and back in a day from Brighton, but it's I think because it avoids the M25 really.
Yeah.
That was last weekend, and I drove from where did I drive from? What was the airport we flew into? Luton. London Luton we flew into, and we had to go to Oxfordshire, to Chipping Norton.
Oh, posh area.
A posh area, yeah, next to Blenheim Palace and a whole lot of other big estates around there. The place we were going was a place called Cornbury House.
Could have gone and seen Mr. Jeremy Clarkson.
For an event. Well, I did go. I have a photograph, the obligatory photograph at the Diddley Squat Farm sign. But anyway, I never published it anywhere. But when I got into the car at the airport, it took us onto the M40, I believe, was it? M40, and then onto the M50. And it took us for hours to get to the place. When we came back, we didn't go on the motorway at all. We came down through Milton Keynes. Yeah. And it was far, far quicker. Except for all the roundabouts, of course.
Rexby's asking how your horses are doing, Brian.
My horses are doing fine, buddy. All good. Just moved them into a new field today. Some shorter grass, because they're all far too fat.
Rexby's also saying it looks like the bowl is wobbling, but I think it's just a pattern.
It's the top. It's the top small problem.
It's not leveled at the top yet. No, Andy, not driving yet. Not allowed to drive until the 7th of November, which will be the full year from the unexplained blackout, and then I'll be able to start driving again. All of the nonsense. But never mind.
Better be safe than sorry.
Haley says, I've just dropped my niece off at the Brighton University today to study creative writing and English literature. She says, I'm jealous. Well, you could easily do the course yourself, Haley, I suppose, could you not? If you wanted to.
Yeah.
You could hire Stewart as a tutor.
I will never teach English again.
Never, say never.
Or how to teach. Another friend from school who had a non-teaching role has just left to do teacher training and met for a coffee, and she brought this lesson plan along, and I thought, oh my goodness, I don't want to even think.
Don't want to even think about it.
Oh,
so.
Go away.
Is it that time before? Is that time already? I've got to go. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I failed my English O
on.
level. Failed my English O level, and he asked me which country I came from.
Oh.
Right. So, just for you, Stuart, let's get some colour out.
Hooray!
Don't believe it. Show us that from the end of the camera, Steve.
You want me to show the end?
Just so as we can see the nice bottom and try and see some of the figure that's in there.
Oh yes, Steve, I do love the M25 going to standard wood turners. Yeah, got very held up last year, but flew through this year. My worst experience on the M25 this year was coming back from Worcestershire wood turners in Droitwich Spa on Monday, when it should be 3 hours, and I went there and back in a day, and just one junction away from coming off the M25, 1 o'clock in the morning, complete standstill.
Yeah.
For 2 hours after a crash. 4 fire engines, I don't know how many police cars, 3 recovery trucks. And I just thought, when you're sitting in your car, I think, can I go to sleep? Will I notice once the traffic starts moving again? So it was, that was pretty horrific. I might have to rethink how far away I try and go in a day if it involves the M25.
The story I told earlier about about moving from Luton Airport up to Oxfordshire, I said the M50, which is the ring road in Dublin, as opposed to the M25, is what I should have said, which is the ring road in London. Oh my God. The M50 in Dublin is no better than the M25.
Question for you, Steve, about your charity auction later on.
Oh, right, okay.
Rexby's asking, have you chosen the charity yet?
Yeah, we're doing it for PDSD, which is a charity for animals. Basically, it's a charity. PDSA, yeah. What did I say? PDS?
D.
All right, PDSA. Basically, it's a charity. So if you've got an animal and you can't afford the vet bill, then there's this charity helps fund the care your animal needs. So that's what we're doing it for. It's not going to be towards. We're going to have to do it at the end of the year because I've got so much on between now and November. I'm going to have to do it towards the end of the year, but we are going to be doing it. I just need to send out some begging emails for items. So, but we will be doing it. We will do it. Right, I'm going to use spirit stains. I very rarely use spirit stains. The reason being is I've never managed to get on with them.
Well, now you've got a supervisor.
No, I've got Stewart on there. So I'm going to dig out.
Dave's asking, has anyone used metal reactive paint?
Yes.
No, I haven't.
Coating an ash enclosed hollow form. Any comments on it?
Metal reactive. I've used metal reactive paint. Depending on what you want to do with it, depending on how it affects. I've got a piece here that I've started. Just quickly show. This has got metal reactive paint on it. You see that? So it's got like a copper, bronzy colour. Then I went over the top just with a bit of pale gold and rose gold just to give it a little bit of colour. But that's the ones from Metal Leaf Supplies, reactive paints. The ones I used to use were from Chromacraft, from Max Minister, but they've stopped selling them now for some reason. No. So, well, I ran out of activator, and I couldn't get no more activator. So, right, so I need an airbrush so I can drop some of that in the top rather than having big bottles. So it's in this box over here. I'm the daddy. Right. So, I don't very often use an airbrush like this, but this will save dirtying up loads of bottles. So let's get an airline. About 18 psi. Stuart, is that all right?
Yeah, especially if you keep your airbrushes clean. I have mine running at about 25 because I just leave a bottle of stain on them all the time and they get a little bit gummy.
Right, so I don't know how these will be because I bought these years ago. So.
Oh, they'd be absolutely fine. They don't go off.
So I've got the little set. So the question is, do we use templates just to do some shapes and patterns on it? What do you reckon?
Yeah, in fact, you very kindly sent me some that you cut out a while ago, and I keep meaning to put them into a video, and I haven't made any videos for months.
Have you not used them yet?
They are right on the top of the pile because there's an effect I want to do with them. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the splat one. Yeah, that'd be fab.
Right, so let's get some colours. Splat. So let's go for, that's orange, red. Let's go for a blue first.
It just reminded me of Batman and Robin from years ago. On the TV. I don't know why, but it did.
Pow. Do you want me to write pow art for you?
Could do.
Here you go, look.
Yeah, do a pop art bottle.
Apparently, Iceman stopped selling nickel paints and stains, and they're not selling apparently as it's too expensive coming from the USA.
I'm enjoying watching your. I'm assuming it's carnival colours, Steve. The other bowl you've got underway, the collaboration thing at the moment.
Oh yeah. The carnival colours they are, yeah. Very vibrant.
Yeah,
they are. Andy the Woodward, Brian, didn't you try 50 psi once? Yeah, I know the 50 psi. You're getting confused now, Andy. Because the 50 psi was when we decided to fire paint at the bowl when it was spinning, and I made the little 4-barrel, multi-barreled projectiles.
There was also an incident with over PSI that caused the airbrush to explode and throw paint everywhere.
No, it was just because I was putting it on badly. It wasn't too much. It just kind of slipped and it kind of paint went everywhere.
Exploding airbrushes. Now that's a new one on me.
It was red. It was ruby red, and it was everywhere, up my white walls and everything. And you ever tried to paint over the top of ruby red intrinsic colours? It doesn't paint over.
Well, because it's water-based, it just keeps coming to the top.
It's a torture, yeah. Every time you wet it, it comes back again.
So the whole wall is now ruby red for uniform colour?
It looks like it's got measles. That's what it does.
I actually had to buy some stuff that you paint on to cover damp.
Oh, right, yeah.
So painting on with that first and then painting over the top of it, and it worked that time. So, but if you just
Professor's asked a question. He said, while sorting his father-in-law's shed, he's got a small bottle labelled boiled linseed oil. How's best to use it, please? Right, the first thing you've got to do is put it on a test piece because it doesn't keep that well.
No, it
so
may well be
of no
dead.
Use.
It may well be dead.
But it is a polymerizing oil. It's not actually boiled, it's chemically treated to make it polymerize. And they call it boiled because that's the old-fashioned way of doing it. But use it like Danish oil, really. Yeah. If it's not thick and gloopy. If it's thick and gloopy, bin it.
Yeah, and it's one of those oils you wipe off the excess after a few minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, give it 10 minutes and then wipe off the excess. Let it soak in for a little bit, then take the rest away. Otherwise, it'll just stay sticky.
Yep, it won't ever seal if you put too much on. Roy the boy wants to know: is there going to be any plum today?
Don't know, Roy.
Roy wants plum all the time.
Depends how you talk to me, Roy. If you talk to me in that nice tone of voice, then maybe.
Does Roy have a nice tone of voice?
Well, he's a.
Well, he must have. That's how he gets all his bargains.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I've done a few things where I've mixed the water stains and the spirit stains. It's quite fun to play around. What I like about using the airbrush, it's nice watching Steve do it, is the colours really build up if you put them over themselves, and you can get a nice sort of 3D effect with the stains. That's what I like about the spirit stains. I'm very impatient. I think I haven't got quite the temperament for using the water-based stains that take a little longer to sort of firm up on the surface.
The thing I find when you're airbrushing, it's just about putting the bare minimum on. If you put loads on, you could end up making yourself a mistake, couldn't you? It's just about putting that.
Yeah. And when you're doing it on a stencil like this, or a template, whatever we call it, there's the build-up of stain on there that you have to wipe off occasionally, unless you want black splodges from time to time.
Michael McEwen's joined us. Good evening, Michael.
Michael?
Yes, if you want to build up a deeper colour with it, you put several light coats on, and then you can build the intensity. But if you go for it in one go, you'll get a splodge.
My airbrush compressor blew up about 6 months ago. I might repair it one day.
You might. Why do you use it for removing dust or what? Because you never use it for colour.
Well, I did use it for colour, but
Yeah,
very
once you broke
badly
it.
and very occasionally.
Oh, hi, Paul. Nice to see you commenting there. I'm very much looking forward to Ulster Woodturners demo, and I was only thinking yesterday I must be in touch, so we'll be in touch and sort out the details, and hopefully there's someone who can get me some spirit stains over there, because I can't bring them on an aeroplane unless anyone knows those different. But yeah.
I may have a few spirit stains here. Sure.
Oh. You will have to head off soon, though, on your horse if you're going to get there in time.
Yeah.
Lucy's asking, Stuart, where do you get all your ideas from?
Where do I get all my ideas from? Well, I suppose sources of inspiration from the wood turning world, for sure. Well, the first person I saw putting colour on, I've already mentioned. Actually, I've mentioned the name, and it caused me to freeze in the build-up, didn't it? But I saw a demo by Mick Hanbury, and using spirit stains and a Proxon, and that was just inspiring. That was back in 2013, and I did my first go, I think, in 2017. I don't know why I waited so long, but definitely ideas from that. Some ideas I've got have come from watching abstract artists on YouTube. Doing all the different ways of applying paint other than using a paintbrush. My efforts at putting paint on with a paintbrush and thinking I'm an artist have been spectacularly unsuccessful. I suppose also from maybe some paintings that I've seen. And I've stopped doing this, so please don't report me to the Sussex police or whatever, but women's clothing can be really very inspiring in terms of use of colour and pattern on it. But surreptitiously taking a photograph of a piece of clothing might be misconstrued. So I think I thought better of doing that. But I've got a few photos where I've thought, oh, I love those colours, and I want a way of recording it. In fact, one demo I did for a Surrey club, there was a woman sitting with a jumper with 3 colours on it that looked so nice. I don't think she noticed, but I actually used the colours as the choice of colours for a platter that I was making there. So quite a few places the ideas come up from. And generally the ideas of putting them on come from, I can't get to sleep tonight. What else can I do? What else could I spray round or spray through, or
So Paul Finley's just said that your colours are all sorted. Sure.
Oh, that's
you needn't worry.
fantastic. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Shh, Mum, quiet.
Yes, she knows. She knows. I think the last time I took a photograph of a piece of clothing that I wanted for inspiration was I haven't done it for at least 18 months. No, 25 months.
Ah.
Your Honour.
Your Honour.
Your Honour.
You're right.
I promise.
I promise. I promise. Yeah.
Oops. Oh dear, don't do that. All right, let's go a different shape this time.
It's very orange looking, that colour.
It's because it is orange.
It's orange, okay.
Yeah.
Spirit stains.
Bold.
I don't think I have that orange.
You must have if you've got spirit stains.
Must I? I only bought some, I think. I don't think I bought them all.
I've still got the original spirit sampler set that I bought.
That's what
It's a little bit like Trigger's broom from Only Fools and Horses, though, in that they might be filled with a different bottle of bit of stain than the original one. But I think they've all got their original lids.
This is what this is the sample set.
Yeah, you can get a lot of coverage from the sample set. I mean, one thing, this is I don't know if it's not a fetish, maybe it's a personality disorder or something, but if I'm covering wood with stain, I've got this thing about not being able to see wood through the coloured bit.
Okay.
I don't really know why that is. I've got one idea, but it's too rude to mention on a family show. But it just looks like sort of, I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. I know other people might like it, but I like to have some wood showing, but as a contrast to what's been coloured. So this is nice watching how you're putting the other colours on, and I think the orange has really lifted it to another level and made it. The contrast with the green and the blue is quite powerful, and that and it's also covering up more of the wood. So I'm thinking, yes, I'm liking this more and more as the colour goes on. I do have a friend who calls me Stewart Moron Furini.
Moron. Moron as in put a more on, or?
Absolutely. You all heard the hyphen in there, didn't you? More on. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Martin's asking, Stuart, are you going to make West Sussex wood turners? Fortnight Sunday for Colwyn.
Fortnight and Sunday for Colwyn. That's the first weekend in, what month is it next month? October. Golly. Am I going to make it? Let me have a look on my calendar. I haven't made the last couple, which has been a little disappointing. I think no, because it's the AWGB seminar, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Yep, so the answer to that is no, Martin, sorry.
AWGB seminar is 4th to the 6th. Or for you, the 3rd to the 6th.
Can't be everywhere.
No.
Nope.
No, something has to give, doesn't it?
Right, just give it clean tissue. So I reckon a bit of red and a bit of yellow on there, and that'll be about right.
Ooh.
Yeah, yellow's a nice one to put on as a last one to blend some of the other colours together.
Yeah, and you get that colour transformation, so some of the blues will turn a bit greeny. And
Yeah.
or should we put a bit of plum on just for Roy?
Stuart, have you used any Indian inks with your colouring?
No, I've never used Indian ink.
Yep, I do.
I mean, I don't know if it would be similar in look to the spirit stains.
Yeah, they're pretty vibrant. I got Steve and Brian and Stuart Mortimer all using them.
Yep.
Because I was using them on Christmas ornaments and things like that, where I want vibrant colours.
Oh yeah.
And they do make things very, very colourful very quickly.
They do.
Right.
You get amazing coverage with them too.
And if you get them in the range, they're pretty cheap.
The red is absolutely amazing. The red is about the only red I've ever seen.
Harvey Klein's joined us. Good evening, Harvey.
Good evening.
Hello, Harvey.
Mark Chapper says it's regrettable that I can't afford the seminar, and who would write the newsletter? Oh,
Indeed, yes. No, yeah. Martin's our newsletter editor. So yeah, you can't miss a club day then, Martin.
Nope.
But if anyone's in the chat who hasn't noticed anywhere on Facebook today, there are some half-price tickets for the seminar that
there are.
Simon Hope is sponsoring. Very generous offer, 10 tickets. Last time I looked, I think there were 7 left. So,
Wow, that was quick.
They weren't going to last long, was they, at that price?
Unfortunately, I'm away, so I can't take advantage of that offer, but it is a very good offer.
And he says he uses the inks in conjunction with pyrography. It looks great. Yeah, it would do. Oh, Rob from Copperell Wood Tanning has just joined us. Hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
So what's coming up in after the AWGB seminar, Stuart? What's coming up?
I've got just a few demos left this year. I think actually maybe only one after the seminar. I've got a trip to Yorkshire the end of next week for Huddersfield and District Wood Turners, and then a 5-hour drive home on Saturday after the full day demo, so I can appear on stage next to my wife in the musical storytelling extravaganza. It was going to be a nice leisurely weekend away. Travel on Friday, demo Saturday, travel home Sunday, but no longer. The trip to Ulster Wood Turners, and then I've got a trip to North Wiltshire. So I'm looking forward, because since retiring, I probably have done significantly less turning of my own in my workshop. I just haven't had the sort of same need to go and unwind and de-stress. I'm not sure why. Something's changed in my life that's taken away that knot in the pit of my stomach that was there.
Yeah. The 900 children at school, maybe.
The kids were fine. It was the parents, or well, a few. Most were wonderful to deal with and lovely people. But yeah, I could handle the children any day. It was working with adults that was proving.
Roy the Boyce just said there. That plum's looking nice, Steve.
It's purple, it's not plum.
It is, isn't it?
It's purple, Roy.
Plummish. Is it more aubergine than plum?
Oh,
Oh.
stop it.
Oh,
Aubergine.
What do you think in the comments?
It's aubergine.
Don't upset Roy, for good's sake.
Aubergine is a food, not a colour.
I agree.
What's orange then?
Orange.
Orange is a food.
Yeah, so November and December are going to be turning for my own pleasure, and dare I say, trying to get away a bit from wide rim shallow bowls with decorative rims. I've got a few more sculptural kind of things I'd like to do, but we'll have to see how that works out. Part of the reason is I was astonished. Out of the blue, there was an invitation to put something in the Masters exhibition at the Wizardry and Wood event next year. When I told my wife this about Wizardry of Wood and the Worshipful Company of Turners, she thought I was winding her up and pretending I was going to have a place at Hogwarts or something. I said, no, it's real. It's a real thing. It really exists.
I promise.
Yeah, I'm not losing my mind. And that's probably a nice little kick up the backside to say, well, come on, do, as creators, makers, I think you need to keep trying out new things and developing. So that's what I'm going to be doing in my workshop, November, December. New things, new ideas. Golly, may even involve some spindle work.
Ooh.
Proper turning.
I don't think I've ever seen you do spindle work.
Oh, there are a few boxes on my channel, and a wonderful off-center cotton reel holder that I got I think I got a first place for at West Sussex Wood Turners many years ago. What other spindle stuff have I done? I think I made a rolling pin once. Does that really count as turning?
Yeah, it does a bit. Yeah, depends what you started with, of course.
Yeah, matching pair of egg cups, but I don't think they ever got onto a video.
Yeah, I've just turned a lot of egg cups.
Yeah.
Because I was given some wood that included some sort of just under 2-inch branch, and I couldn't think what to do with it, so I just turned it all into egg cups.
Yep. Oh, and then I'd do a Christmas cracker demo, but that's not on YouTube because that was a Zoom buy a ticket demo. I used to be part of a little group of turners from here, Canada, and America, called Wood Turners Retreat with Chris Parker.
All right.
Emma Cook on a couple of them. Rebecca de Groot did a couple. Cade Bolger, who's at the AWGB, he was part of the group. And Jeff Hornung, Joanne Savageau from Canada as well. And we did 4 or 5 paid Zoom events that were great fun to do. And I did a Christmas cracker, which I'm thinking of resurrecting as a demo later this year.
Right.
But I'm still doing my free monthly Zoom to anyone who subscribes to my newsletter, which you can get the sign up for on my website. There's one on Monday. I'm just going to be covering some centrifuge colouring ideas. They generally last about an hour. And I didn't do one in August. I took August off. Had a holiday month.
And Martin Shepherd's suggesting you should go and join at the Amberley for the kids' activity days that involve spindle turning.
I should. I was asked if I would go in August, but the dates just didn't work out at all with having my granddaughter here, and she was only 3, so I don't think she would have particularly enjoyed the day down at Amberley. So
those of you who are looking for Stuart's website, there's the link for it in the chat.
Well,
thanks, Brian.
And Steve, there's been a couple of comments. The current one I'm looking at is Raymond Wise said, Steve, that's looking fantastic.
Thank you very much, Raymond.
There's a few compliments earlier on, but we were talking about other things. So.
The check's in the post.
And Lucy said she once had a pair of tights that was called aubergine. And the only tights I used to wear was American tan.
Is this you or Lucy?
Yeah, I used to wear them when I was doing dispatch riding.
All right.
Before the days of thermals, and there's the only thing you put on under your clothes to keep you warm.
Indeed, Pete. I know this. I know the feeling. I've laid in a ditch for 3 weeks with ladies' tights on. That sounds strange.
I bet that was a hell of a night if you didn't get home for 3 weeks.
Underneath your combat clothing, it makes a bit more sense.
Yeah.
Again, that was before the days of thermal underwear.
No, you weren't doing a
film
full
was
clicker
now
then.
very good, but it wasn't around then. And Lucy says that it's too expensive by the time I put the dog in kennels and the children into care.
I
Well,
know.
if you put them all in the same kennel, it'd be cheaper, wouldn't it?
Well,
You can get those auto feeders now. Just leave them at home.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
Roy the
thanks,
boy's
Roy.
just subscribed.
Roy's just subscribed. Yeah, I was trying to do all my newsletter subscriptions through Microsoft Outlook and doing it all manually, but it just got a little bit complicated, and so I've got a system now that I use. I call it Brevo, but when I hear them do adverts online, they call themselves Brevo, Brevo, one or the other.
Okay.
But yeah, so if you've just subscribed, Roy, you should have got something saying thank you for subscribing, and here's a sample newsletter. But I'll do another. I'll send out my current newsletter tomorrow to any new subscribers, so that you can get the link and register for the Zoom. Looking great now, Steve. It's one of those acts of faith, I think, when you start colouring it. The first coat of colour looks a little pale, and
Yeah.
And you just think, oh no, this isn't going anywhere. I've just had a couple of days up at Simon Hope's workshop doing a colouring workshop with three turners, and it's so pleasing to hear someone at the end saying, "I know what you mean now, Stuart, about keep going."
It's just building up the layers.
It's building up the layers, yeah, and you get somewhere. You can go too far. I always try to encourage people to go too far, because it seems to me that most people don't go far enough. So how close do you think you are to finishing, and is there another colour coming, or is that it?
I'm going to put the yellow on, and I'm going to stand back and look at it.
Steps back in amazement.
I wouldn't go amazement. I wouldn't say amazement. Trouble is, if I put too many colours on, it's going to just get a bit crazy.
Get a bit hectic.
Yeah, when you use a lot of colours, it can easily get too much. But what I like about what you've got here is all the colours still have got quite a strong definition in the shape that they're holding, even though they're rather abstract shapes with the splats. Rather than them all sort of clumping together, you can follow a little bit of a line of each colour through
into the others.
Into the others, yeah, and underneath them, yeah.
Yeah, it's giving it a little bit of a 3D effect too.
And once you put a bit of sand and sealer on it, that'll make it even better. That'll pop.
Yeah, I often find when there's that much stain, if I don't want to run the risk of it getting a little diluted, if I'm a bit heavy-handed with the sanding sealer, I sometimes will leave it a few hours before the sealer goes on. An aerosol. I mean, I learned for the first time I did it with. I put some cellulose on with a brush. I should have just done it one colour.
Just one colour. So I'm wondering whether I should use black, this bottom black, whether I should just leave it au naturel.
I think it needs something. Otherwise, it looks like you haven't considered the look of the bottom, because you've got the colour spilling into it. Either bare wood colour or black. I have
black, so I can do black. Maybe do the whole foot black.
No, just the centre.
No, I think just the centre. I think the foot looks nice because the colour goes all across it. Maybe about at 6 o'clock, it looks like there's a bit of bare wood.
Yeah.
And 2 o'clock.
Yeah. Let me just get this covered. This is not the best airbrush.
No, but I think for spirit stains, you don't really need very high quality. There are some that are not good enough quality that I've bought that are have been a little disappointing.
This is one that come free with my little mini
Compressor.
compressor.
Yeah, I got one of those, and it was borderline, I thought, for usability. But the first airbrush I bought was a single action Silverline. I think it was about £12 with a tiny thin black tube that delivered the air to it, and it was not good at all. I used to take it to demos and say, if you're getting started, don't buy one of these. There are several other brand names attached to it, to that design, but the dual action ones are definitely the ones to go for.
Yeah, I always tell people buy a good brush.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Martin Shepherd's asking, does anybody remember a guy called Mark Raby? Was the first person he saw using colour about 12 years ago.
Yes,
Name doesn't
I
ring
do.
bells here. But
I
they're
do.
a colourist.
He. I think there may. I don't remember if I saw him at a wood turning event somewhere. Unfortunately, he died quite some years ago now.
All right, so just a little bit of colour on there, just to cover those two.
I think he had some adverts in the wood turning magazine for selling colours and things as well, actually. Well, that looks great fun, Steve.
What's that?
That lovely ball of colour that we're looking at.
It does. It looks nice.
All right, that's it. As far as we're going to go.
And Lucy's asking, do styles of colouring go in and out of fashion?
What, like clothing colours, you mean?
Yeah, what is this year's wide rim bowl colour? I'm not aware of them going in and out of fashion, but I remember when I spoke to Mark Baker a few years ago when I was working on articles for colouring, that he kindly commissioned me to write for the Wood Turning magazine. He said, well, we were doing centrifuge colouring 25 years ago. And this idea that when people come to something new for the first time, oh, no one's done this. Pretty much everything has been done.
Yes.
There's nothing new in wood turning.
No, a few new things. I mean, I think if I wanted to sort of, people who've been very inventive. I don't know how many of you guys have heard of Michael Hossellock from Canada. Absolutely amazing, inventive turner, who uses a lot of colour, but also a lot of turning wood and then cutting it and cutting sections out and reassembling it, changing the shapes. So if you're looking for a new person to have a look at, he in fact was at the AWGB seminar a few years ago, and I went for a day, but it was just a little bit beyond my understanding, the kind of thing he was doing, until I got a copy of his DVD and was able to see it in a bit more detail. Astonishing stuff.
So
How are you spelling your surname?
Yeah, Hossellock, Hosaluk, I think.
Malcolm Douglas says his airbrush kit has been taken to a new home by his eldest son for his wargame models. He must try to rehome it.
I found him.
Now, the story behind my airbrush kit is I bought it for my wife for a Christmas present.
You bought it for your wife for a Christmas present.
She didn't have time to use it, so I borrowed it for a day and put it in the workshop. Then I gave it back. Then I borrowed it for another day, and it's still in the workshop, and now it's blown up. So I got brownie points for a Christmas present, and I'm the only one that's ever used it.
So Lisa's getting a new compressor for Christmas then.
She could well be, yeah. Frederick Day is asking, what do you use to clean your airbrushes with?
With those, I would use methylated spirits, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm. That's what I use to clean them for everything. Methylated spirits, just spray it through it.
Yeah, I use the same.
Meths for me. If I've given them a good clean through, I might at the last stage just put through a little bit of one of the proprietary airbrush cleaners, just because they've got a little bit of lubrication in apparently. And I would sometimes use that if I've given a good clean through, just as the last thing I put through the airbrush.
Very porous out there, wood. Sucking it up.
Yeah, they never actually really established what the wood was, did we?
No. Looks like
Pretty
a
sure
bowl of sweets if you spin it like that.
Suggestion earlier, but
There's a link to Michael's website. Michael Hustle Luck in the chat, so you can have a look over there if you want at some stage. See what he's been up to. He has some nice pieces on his website.
Yeah, I've enjoyed. He does a DVD. It's not cheap. It's about $40, but it's very detailed and gives lots of inspiration and ideas. I used to have 2 band saws. I bought a bigger one just to keep spending my wood toning income, so I didn't have to pay so much tax on it. So I bought a new bandsaw for wood toning. It had a bigger capacity, and I thought I should keep my little one and put a fine blade on it and use it to try out some of these ideas. But my workshop might look larger in YouTube than it really is, and two bandsaws, a planer thicknesser, a pillar drill, a table saw, a bench, countless sharpening things, and a lathe in one 16x8 garage was a bit too much. So that went in the back of my van when I drove down to Portugal in April for my son. So
yes, that's the problem with fine art workshops.
yeah, we all want a bigger one, don't we?
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Well, it's the universal law that every workshop is 1/3 the size you need. So if you build it 3 times as big, then it'll still be 1/3 the size you need.
Some of Michael's stuff is quite inspiring, to be honest. You're quite right. Sure.
Roy's got to go. Good night, Roy.
See you later, Roy. Thanks for coming over, buddy.
Bye, Roy. Another turner. He died a couple of years ago, possibly. A guy called Stephen Hogbin. I just read a book on his wood turning 6 or 7 months ago. That's another good inspiration if you want to get past round platters and
Yeah, past round. If you want to get past round and brown. There's a dinky little vase there with 4 little feet on the bottom that look like canine teeth.
Yes, it's quite playful.
I'll just let it dry.
Yeah, I must bookmark that. Add that to favourite somewhere. Interesting, love all that kind of stuff. Not another doom bar, Pete. Goodness
Yep.
sake.
It's only the second one,
It's
isn't
9
it?
o'clock, you know.
I'm in training now for the AWGB. apparently.
Yeah, well, I'm on holiday tomorrow, so I've got to be in training as well. I'm not on holiday. I'm going searching for Terry.
All
I'm
right.
dragging
Well,
him back.
Rescue party.
Yeah.
search for Terry and bring him back. Yeah.
All right, so I'm just going to rub over that with a little bit of 400 just to take the pimples off of the sand and sealer.
Did you use acrylic or cellulose, Steve?
Cellulose. I haven't got any acrylic sand and sealer.
That's against the rules, isn't it?
Wow. Not supposed. Well, as long as you don't put it on heavy, I won't bleed through, will
No,
it?
it's fine to use cellulose on it.
Yeah. I don't see why not.
I'll check the compatibility chart.
Mhm.
Spirit stain. Cellulose sanding sealer gets a big green block box with a yes.
There you
That's
go.
all right then.
It's also set Terry.
I just try it and see if it works. It works. If it doesn't, don't try again.
It gives you a bit more choice with what lacquer to use on the top as well, because you could use the melamine or the acrylic.
Or do what I do and use Halfords.
Oh, Alfred's, yes. Yeah.
That's my
Yes.
go-to lacquer, I have to say.
Yeah,
It
I've
has
got a
great UV
one.
resistance on it.
Oh, right, that's good. I got a little sample bottle of the wipe-on polyurethane that Chestnut have just started.
Mhm.
I really like it if I've used acrylic paints, which when you've got a few layers of paint, the top is not quite level, and getting it level with lacquer is pretty hard going. But the polyurethane does quite a good job at that. In that you can put, I'm not sure if you're meant to, but I put it on just a little bit thicker, and it'll level itself over thin layers of paint. For textured surfaces, it doesn't fill them and give you a flat, smooth surface.
I tried using that the other night. I couldn't get on with it. I think that's because I was being impatient.
Sunday's live, wasn't it?
I think I was being impatient with it.
Ah, right, yep.
I think you have to leave it to dry, don't you?
Yes, I think you can leave it a couple of hours or so before you put the next coat on.
Yeah.
Whereas lacquer, one coat, 20 minutes, another coat. But I've made the mistake before of doing the lacquer and thinking, I can burnish it now, 20 minutes after the last coat.
Yeah, no.
And it all comes off.
Yeah, you need to leave it 24 hours to harden.
Yeah.
At least 24 hours in most cases, or sometimes 3 days, depends how many coats you put on.
Right, this is acrylic satin lacquer. Just a dust coat.
Yeah.
My go-to for lacquer is to do 3 coats, leave it for 24 hours, sand it back, and then do another 3 coats. That's what I usually do.
Mm-hmm. The satin lacquer is a bit more versatile than the gloss, because although it's got a nice shine now, obviously that shine will diminish once it's dry. But if you then burnish it, you can get a very high glossy shine on it.
Yeah, because satin lacquer is a bit thicker than gloss, and that'll cover all mistakes up as well, because it's that much thicker.
Mistakes? I don't know what you mean by mistakes.
Yeah, Rustin's used to do a wipe-on poly. Well, it's probably about a decade ago now. But it seems to have sort of disappeared out of the English market ever since.
Yeah, it's a big thing in the States, isn't it?
Yeah, Americans use it a lot. But I mean, it was a while before I actually even heard of it. It had disappeared that much.
But I think it's because we've gone for this water-based everything. Because basically, wipe on poly is a mixture of oil-based varnish with an oil. So you've got like a linseed oil and polyurethane varnish mixed together. But now we've got water-based polyurethane varnishes. It's probably not so easy to do.
Oh, there you go. Sure, just put the link in for you there, Lucy.
And Martin Shepherd's asking, is there any advantage to using wipe-on poly compared to ordinary lacquers or acrylic paint?
For me, the advantage is just that way. It'll level up the look of a finish. If I've done a centrifuge colour, there's some texture there on the surface. You can feel it. Lacquer just follows that texture. The wipe-on poly is thick enough to smooth over those you know, it's not even a millimetre's difference, but you can feel it with your fingers. But the wipe-on poly will fill that. I don't think it gets quite as glassy a look as lacquer when it's buffed up, though. I've done one where I've used resin as a coating rather than, not casting a huge block, but just coating the top, flooding the top. And that if I wanted to get a really hard, shiny, smooth surface over textured surface, I would use that. I tend not to put a shiny finish now on textured things because they just cause too much glare.
Yeah. I think a satin over coloured pieces are much... The light absorbs into it. If it's gloss, the light just reflects off of it.
Yeah, which is fine if it's flat and smooth surface. But if there's any bit of texture on it, then it just, you see the reflection, you don't, and the colour gets lost.
Right.
Which is a shame.
So, see that? Looks like a bowl of sweets. Looks like a bowl of sweets.
Yeah, it does. That would be your Halloween candy bowl, but you've got to do my trick of putting a hole in the bottom so you can hide your finger inside the sweet. So when kids come and grab one, you get arrested for assaulting them by grabbing them with your middle finger stuck through a bowl. Yeah.
Right, let's quickly get this hollowed out then.
I may be revealing too much of myself tonight with my
I was just thinking
clothing.
That's your honour statement, wasn't it?
Yeah. I would like 15 other offences to be taken into account.
I agree with you, Martin. I quite like the textured look of acrylic paint.
Right, so let's sharpen this.
Yeah, me too.
Let's sharpen this tool up. We've got a sharp tool. Stuff everywhere.
I have to say, Stuart, you've had that Bic mark for a little while now, and it's still blue.
Yeah, why is it still blue? How did you manage that?
I have resprayed the red bar because that's covered with yellow and black stain. This side round here, the headstock is black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's a bit yellow, bit of gold. And I made the mistake of using once some very cheap spray paints that just were splatter paints and they went everywhere, black and white. But I did clean most of that off. But I do try to keep the lathe free from paint and give it a clean every so often. Or, hold a wire brush against the chuck body when it's spinning to clean any splashes off that.
Yep.
Without protection on, of course.
Yeah, it's amazing how many clubs trust me with new lathes. I think I've done, there's several clubs like, oh, you're the first person to use our new lathe. Oh, thank you.
No pressure?
No pressure at all. Yeah, that was the demo Worcestershire wood turners on Monday. That was it. Oh yeah, the first person to use this lathe, and it was still clean at the end of the demo. Honest.
I've only ever had that once, and that was at Yandles. And the joy of the new lathe when I had to go in there and clean all the shipping oil off of it. Because they'd literally just taken it out of the box and set it up.
Well, that would have been all right. You could have got as much paint on that as you wanted without, if you hadn't taken
exactly.
oil off. And yes.
Yes.
I've had a few little mishaps in clubs. It's interesting. David Buskell's got a post up from Sheen wood turners of the first time I visited them in 2018. And I'm standing at the lathe, and in front of the lathe is their vinyl Sheen wood turners sign.
Oh yeah.
Before I spilt orange spirit stain down the front of the lathe and all over it. So I think the next time I went, they didn't have that out. I'm not sure why.
You wonder why.
Yeah.
I
So
think I remember you
Gallifall
colouring
just joined us. Good evening, Joe.
venue as well.
Sorry, Pete. What did you say?
I seem to remember you colouring a floor in one of your venues.
Well, you say colouring a floor. Yeah, my box of airbrushes slipped. It was a very small lathe that I was working on with a very small table next to it, and I've got a very big box of airbrushes. And it did, yeah, I did manage to cause it to fall on the floor. And a couple of the bottles came off detached from the airbrushes, and some of the stain started spilling onto the floor. And I'm down there on my hands and knees with a bottle of mess, because I take a bottle of mess everywhere I go, and kitchen roll, cleaning it up. Yeah, you know, it was my fault. It shouldn't have happened. I was clumsy. But the worst thing was the entire audience sat there in complete and utter silence.
Oh no!
No, so you come on, laugh at me or tell you
do something.
done. But, yeah, it was, and it was right near the beginning of the demo, and I think it threw me a little bit. I don't think it was one of my bestest demos, but you know, I think I bounced back a bit from it.
So note to
love
self.
That's where it goes wrong in the first 10 minutes, and you think, "Oh no."
So note to self is
And
make
then
sure.
it's trying to recover.
So note to self is make sure there's plastic on the floor when Stuart comes. So
Yeah, yes. Get ready for next year, Steve.
Yeah, and how to balance.
I have bought. I was supposed to go in the back of a car, a rubber mat, but I sometimes take that if a club doesn't have anything under their lathe, and it gives a bit of protection and some. Then Lidl was selling for £1 some rubber backed front door mats that are quite thin, but stain won't go through them. So I've got a few of those in the van as well with me, usually as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed most of the turning of the middle. That's coming along nicely. You're going to colour the rim, Steve, or leave it as it is?
don't know. I ain't thought that far ahead, to be honest. One colour maybe.
We cut out the whole middle.
One colour maybe. Maybe gold. No.
Susie is just putting in gold leaf. She hasn't typed it, but I know she wanted to.
Yeah. It's almost a certainty, isn't it? Susie. Yeah, make it a nice narrow rim, Steve. You won't have to put much on it.
The trouble is how soft the bit of wood is. I think if I won't get narrow, that's going to explode. That's not the best bit of wood.
Sometimes best to quit when you're ahead then. There's some nice shavings coming off of there, but there's lots of little chips as well.
Yeah. Still a bit thick in that bottom corner.
Yeah, some of the lighter woods in weight When you take them down thin, they feel like they're made of paper or something, and you almost sell by the pound. It's got to have some weight to it when people pick it up. Steve Fleming has suggested you make the rim black to match the bottom.
A series of black rim.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I would do, whether I would colour it or not, actually. I'm trying to make my mind up.
I'm just going to get it around and then see what it looks like and then decide from there, I think.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look. If I go much thinner than that, that's going to explode.
I would leave it as thick as that, Steve.
Yeah,
It's good the way it is.
Yeah.
Don't push
Things
it beyond
overrated,
its
it
limit.
breaks easily. Can we have an overhead so we can see the colour against the wood?
Yeah, just 1 second. That's better. Let me just clean this edge up.
I tend to leave the rim natural if there's enough colour showing when the bowl's sitting on the table, and you can see the colour. Leave the edge natural.
My preference is to leave the rim natural.
Yeah.
And the inside.
But if you've got a shallow bowl, you can bring the colour up over the rim so that you can see the colour, and then it draws your eye down into the colour.
Since I've taken that middle out, that's now going out of shape.
Yeah, quite a lot of movement.
Yeah.
The only thing that might make me colour the rim is that little bit showing now at about 11 o'clock where that darker bit of wood is coming through. Whether that sort of distracts.
But we've got a little bit of grain coming through at the bottom there as well, haven't we? So.
Oh yeah, that might maybe balances it out. Now you spun it round, I can see that bit. Yeah.
Let's get it sanded. Let's get it sanded up, and that's a bit out of focus, isn't it? Right, let's get it quickly sanded up, and then we'll see what we've got. We can get rid of that.
Just looking at your background there, Stuart, I noticed you've got 2 fire extinguishers on hand.
Yes. Well, you know, I mentioned having my RPT workshop assessment done.
Yeah.
This one expires this year. I've had it for 5 years, and this is its replacement, a new one. So I don't know what you do with old.
You don't have to buy a new one. You just get it checked. What is that one? Is that dry powder?
This is a dry powder. Yeah.
Whatever you do, if your workshop goes on fire, don't expend it.
Don't expend it.
No, it's a terrible thing to clean up. It's worse than a fire.
Just let it all burn down. And
I know this because I had a science teacher. I used to work in a high school, Stuart.
Yeah.
And we had a science teacher who did an experiment on the nice Rocco benches that they had.
Oh.
And set fire to the nice Rocco bench. Just a tiny little fire. A damp cloth would have been enough just to put the fire out.
Mm-hmm.
She expended one of those, a 2 kilogram powder extinguisher that took us 3 months to clean up. It was incredibly messy.
Only in dire emergencies. I've got a fire blanket as well near the door, so
that's a better thing.
That's probably a better thing, yeah.
And I have a water extinguisher, one water extinguisher and one powder extinguisher.
Right.
Only if it's an electrical fire will I use the powder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a powder one next to the door.
Sorry, I have it. It's not water at all. It's CO2. I have.
All right. My logic is it's all insured. I just get out the door, I leave it.
It'll burn.
Yeah, one of the last things I saw training I had at school as a teacher was the fire safety officer from the county fire brigade came in and said, "Don't use a fire extinguisher, just get out."
Yep.
Yeah,
Showed
that's
the
the most
videos of
important
people.
thing.
Yeah,
As long as you get out safe, then you can replace everything that's in there.
yeah.
And Scott Hampton has joined us from
Oh, evening, Scott.
Hi, Scott. How are you?
all over the way from California.
It's fire extinguisher good if you've got like a waste bin on fire. But anything other than that, just get out.
The trouble is, if you got your workshops on fire and all the shavings on the floor are on fire, and you hit it with a CO2 extinguisher, it's just going to blur everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It won't help.
Do you have shavings on your floors of your workshop? I
Not
don't have
often.
any.
Not often, sure. No. Well, only mid turning. As soon as the turning's finished, my workshop's clean. I never leave shavings on the floor.
As I said before, my favourite thing in the workshop is I put lots of shavings on the floor,
Crunchy
take
floor.
a photograph of the mess and send it to Brian to wind them up.
No, I don't do shavings. In fact, I've been known to stop mid-turn and clean the shavings up.
On the days when I think, I don't know what to turn, the workshop's a bit messy. I find I can get started by going in and giving it a good clean, and then think, I'll just put this bit of wood on.
You and me both, Stuart.
And then there's even more of a mess to clear up, but I feel much happier. Apparently we could eat our dinner off your floor, Brian.
No, it's clean, but it's just not quite that clean, Lucy. You may find there's some split stain and intrinsic colours, etc., lying in the concrete. My workshop was supposed to be a double garage, but I built it and converted it into stables. So it had a rough concrete floor. Just you know how they kind of float the concrete floor first when it's kind of got ripples in it.
Yeah.
And then I put rubber mats over the top of that for the horses, which aided the drainage, etc. But since then, I've still got I took the rubber mats out, and I've still got the wrinkly floor. So it makes life a bit more difficult for cleaning up. But it's fine. It's grand. It's wearing down slowly.
Clean shop, happy shop.
That's what I think too, Steve. You can, if your shop's clear and tidy, you can find things.
There's nothing worse than walking in the morning, opening your workshop door, and the place is a mess. You're like, oh my god, got to spend 10 minutes clearing up now.
Yeah, I've done a few Zoom demos to clubs in America, and I'm not going to clear up after I finished at 2 in the morning.
No, that's
So
fine.
you get up later in the day and you look in and you think, wow, I really did leave it in the right state.
No, I have to clean it. I would have to stay up and clean it. It's an affliction.
I'm sure it's a very good habit to have. So on a clean off, you versus Mike Walt, you know, who would win?
I think I might.
I gotta say, I've seen some wide angle shots of Mike Waltz, and he's quite crafty at just sweeping it out of camera.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll just push
Right
it
on
up.
the
Some
shoulder.
workshop hangouts, and we've just been chatting. And yeah, it's all clean around the lathe, but there's a huge pile just off to the side.
That's shocking.
Deceptive, that's what that is. No, cleaned, bagged, and put away. Now, the wood store next door is maybe not as clean, but the workshop is. fact, the wood store's a complete mess of that.
I've got some shells outside, but it doesn't really give enough. Doesn't keep them out of the sun enough. Really. So I've had some wood out there probably for about 6 or 7 years that I just know that's it. You know, it is firewood now. But now I'll leave it on the turning shelves. I might get something from it, but
Yeah.
That's Turner's instinct. It's, other people call wishful thinking.
Yeah. And I did have when I had a tidy up recently, I managed to fill 5 sacks with part-turned bits of wood with bits of colour on from demos. I thought, oh my goodness, this is such a burden to have. But so I think when I get back to making my YouTube videos, it'll be, right, here's a part-turned piece of wood that we'll take to a finished project. And if I have to give it away, at least so it finds a home, that's what I'll do.
I think Steve has the same problem, don't you, Steve?
What's that?
Lots of bits left over from demos.
Yeah, definitely. I give them away a lot of the time. If someone comes up if someone comes up to the end of a demo and go, "Oh, what are you going to do with that?" I'm like, "Give me a fiver. Give me a fiver. What covers the cost of the blank? You can have it."
It's yours. Yeah. He has the right idea when he does YouTube videos. He takes it outside and burns it.
Best solution.
Yeah, I've only done one burning video, and people said, "Why have you burnt it?" Well, because you couldn't see that at the bottom of this flame-shaped vase I'd made, the wall was 0.5 millimeter thick, and it was going to snap anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Let's get some sand and cedar on that.
It is a problem. If you do a demo at a club, they kind of expect you to part it off and finish it.
Yeah.
But you haven't sanded it properly. You haven't finished it properly. Either because they haven't got extraction or you just haven't got the time to sand it properly. So once you part it off, what do you do with it?
Sometimes I bring them home and finish them at home.
Yeah.
Knock
Yeah,
them
if
back
you've
and
got a
do-
mortise in it, you can do that. But if you've done a tenon and you've cut the tenon off, yeah, you can have a vacuum chuck, I suppose. But it kind of leaves you a little bit stuck with a dead piece of wood.
Yep.
I
That's
ran it
what
through
you're
the
doing
bandsaw
wrong.
to
You
see
should-
how
you
good it
mean-
was.
What, you mean you do turning at demos? I just do colouring.
Yeah, I'm not
What's this
qualified to
turning
do colouring.
nonsense? Yeah.
As I've said to a couple of clubs I've demoed at, if I put a single colour onto a piece of wood, it will clash.
I don't think that needs any colour on it. Show us the overhead shot there, Steve.
Do, 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 do.
I think that's deep enough that it doesn't need to have anything on the rim.
Yeah, I think so.
I agree as well. I think because there's such a distinction between the wall, the top of the wall, and the start of the rim coming across, they're not connected. One isn't flowing into the other. There's a distinct separation from them. But the only thing, if I were to put a colour on, like Steve suggested in the chat, would be a solid colour. But I think that wouldn't complement the colours around the outside. So I would leave it wood.
Yep.
Shock horror.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me just record. Say that again, sir. Let me just press record.
Yeah, okay. I'd leave it wood. But of course, you're going to colour the inside of the bowl, aren't you?
Yeah, of course I am. Yeah, of course I am.
With the same pattern.
Yeah, of course I am. Yeah. No.
Carsten has joined us from Denmark. Hello, Carsten.
Hi,
Hi,
guys.
Carsten.
Hello, Carsten.
The one I showed the other day on YouTube, that's got to be coloured on the inside. That's gonna be fun. I've never done the inside of one.
Which one was that, Steve?
The this one.
The carnival coloured taped one.
Oh, the Harlequin ball. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me go on the camera. You can see. So
I'll have to have a go at that tech in the cube. I've
So,
never tried it.
I've got to take all this.
You're off camera, Steve. Hiya.
Oh,
Fire
sorry.
up.
I've got to
There you
take
go, that's
all these. Have got to come on the inside of the bowl when I hollow it out.
Ah, yeah, I see that. Yeah.
So yeah, that's going to be a challenge. I've never.
Yeah, I was going to say you give yourself a challenge that way.
Yeah, I've never done that before. So. And no pressure. It's got to be
nice.
done. No pressure. It's got to be done by the end of September.
Oh, look who's come in. Look.
Oh, it's the Mr.
Terry's
Brad.
doing this.
Posh Terry from Hickington Arts is in. Good evening,
Lucy
Posh
said,
Terry.
does he own any colours? Yes. Steve and Brian made me buy the intrinsic colours.
We did.
And Wayne made me buy the Joe Sonia colours.
And
So
I made William buy them too, and he doesn't use them either.
I got lots of colours that I don't use. I do
Those
use them occasionally. I do colour some things.
You do.
Right, let's get some wax on there. So let's get some microcrystalline on there, I think. Don't want a high shine in the middle of that, really. Oh, I've got to give them bags up, right?
Well, this cough's not getting any better, that's for sure. How come Terry's home from a wood turning club this early?
Perhaps they kicked him out.
Yeah, they kicked him out.
They said, "Oh, not you again. How the hell did you get back?"
Yeah, who invited you back? There's a time my computer's on. Oh, 9:32. Never mind all that, Terry. How's the holiday going?
What you should be saying to him is, "How's real life going when he comes back?" Because he wouldn't know the difference.
He's retired. He's allowed to be on holiday. All day, every day.
Except Sundays, you've got to do his life.
Only when you don't cover it.
Well, I shouldn't ever have to cover it, should I? I mean, it should be there all the time.
Technically, you shouldn't. Oh, it was just a hands-on night, so I did some teaching, and they close at 9:15. Oh,
There you go then.
that's one of those church hall type things or village hall type things. Kick you out at 9 o'clock. Get out.
They must have been short of staff if they got him to teach somebody.
So, what are you putting in that now, Steve?
Microcrystalline.
Microcrystalline.
Is that all right?
Yeah, fine.
Excellent choice.
Use that outside too.
No. It's waxed. It's lacquered on the outside, isn't it?
Well, you can still put microcrystalline over
Yeah, but it's a waste
lacquer.
of microcrystalline, isn't it? I don't want to shine anyway. I want to sheen.
Yes, no, maybe.
Hey?
Yes, no, maybe.
Right. So.
You don't want it shiny on the outside anyway.
No, exactly. Cool. That's light.
Terry said, holiday is great. Life is a holiday. Pete, what are you doing this Sunday on your live? Terry, I'm not doing a live this Sunday, mate. I'm going to France tomorrow to try and find you and drag you back.
Right. So. Here we go.
Looks very nice, Steve.
Very nice, Steve.
Good job, mate. Excellent.
So,
Very nice.
little bit of a chamfer on the
Chamfer?
on the lid on the top, just so it slopes into the bowl.
Mm-hmm. Defines the outside to the inside as well, I think.
So let's put it on something. Oh look, candlestick holder, candle holder,
Perfect.
bowl holder now.
Candle stand.
Yeah.
Candle stand, that's the one. Well done, Pete.
It's a bowl stand now.
Pedestal bowl.
Yeah. Or as I call Martin's, bowl on a stick.
Yeah, bowl on a stick.
Yeah. Can we have some light on the bottom of that?
Yeah, probably not. Torch. I knew he was going to do that.
Hang on.
Torch.
A one-legged bowl.
I'll get a better light because I haven't got a. Time I get a ring light sorted out. This is a better light though. There you go. Is that
There
better?
you go.
That's it.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
Nice. I quite like that effect.
So something simple. Just some bits of cardboard cut out. Just when you put it on with the airbrush, just put it on light thin coats. So
It's kind of the
Dave
same.
says, I like that. Might just give it a go.
good,
Well
good.
done.
Look forward to seeing it. It's always nice when somebody had a go. Well, mind you, like Stuart was saying earlier, there's a lot of things that have been done over and over again, but it's always nice when someone watches you and is inspired to have a go at something you've had a go at.
Agreed.
Always amazes me because when I go back to before I started turning, when I used to watch people like Nick Zametti, Stewart, Ed Oliver, and people like that, and then you actually have a go at their work, and like now we're lucky enough that we have guests in that we can actually do stuff that they've inspired us to do. Does that make sense? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It does. And I think it's a community that encourages people to share ideas and have a go and,
Definitely.
not keep secrets. There are very few turners I've come across who say, well, I'm not going to tell you how I did that.
No, exactly.
But want to tell you, how do you do that? Well, I did like this and this and this and this. And
Mm-hmm.
it gets remarked upon by people in other creative disciplines, I think, that you can't tell everyone how to do it, but
Why not?
we do.
Exactly.
We do.
And sometimes the best bit is when you blend things from different inspiration sources.
Mhm.
Come up with something that is sort of unique, but it actually is 2 or 3 of other people's work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to know that gives people inspiration. So
Yeah,
it's always good. I'm still looking
There's
for.
not much new in wood turning, and there's not much new in art either.
No, I'm still waiting for someone to have a go.
No.
I'm still waiting for someone to have a go at the Harlequin bowl though. I haven't seen anybody have a go at that. I'd like to see someone have a go at that.
It's a good one for Stuart.
Yeah, the nearest I got
Stuart's
to
done a
so far, I
Harlequin
suppose,
kind of
is
effect,
sort of
yeah.
ribbony bowls.
That's right. Yeah, the
they're
ribbon
nice.
effect.
They're nice.
Yeah.
They're sort of close to that, but
Similar
that's,
idea.
that's polyurethane.
It's got
You
nice
can
shine.
see how badly the surface is turned, can't you? You can see that
Yeah,
it's
we
not
can
flat.
actually.
It's not flat.
It's not badly turned at all. That was a skill.
The gap between them follows the Fibonacci sequence.
That's what it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Before we go, is there any more questions for Stuart? Then I'm going to put all these away.
It's fairly obvious to me that Stuart is much more relaxed and chilled out since he retired.
Oh,
that's for sure.
Definitely.
Much more.
Yeah, I can definitely recommend it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Apparently, Haley has done a couple of Harlequin-inspired bowls and one vase.
Oh, good.
Pictures. Read pictures. Really.
It's nice because when people ask about doing it, I always say it's about, and Stuart, I know exactly the same. When you're masking up, if you put it on too heavy, you don't know until you've taken that tape off whether it's gone through or not.
Yeah.
And that's the risk you take. You might spend 3 hours, like that one over there. I spent 3.5 hours colouring that the other night. And then until you peel it off, you think, has it gone through? Hasn't it gone through?
Yeah, it's always fun peeling the tape off.
Oh, it's a clinching moment.
Apparently, Haley's are on Instagram, and she did ask Steve if it was okay.
Oh, right, okay.
All right.
I remember that, actually. Yes, you're right. I did.
I don't think I have got Haley on Instagram, to be honest.
Don't have to ask me. You do whatever you want.
Have a look.
I did get asked a question the other day. Someone said to me, why is it called a Harlequin bowl? This is at a craft fair. Because I always take it to a craft fair. I never sell it. I always take it to a craft fair. And they said, why do you call it a Harlequin? And I said, because of the colours of a Harlequin. And they go, well, Harlequin out of, what's that film called where I don't know, Will Smith and all that's in it. They're all different rebels, and she's in it of Batman, the Joker's girlfriend. And she said, "Well, the colours don't represent the Harlequin out of the film." And I said, "That's nothing to do with the film. Have you never heard of a Harlequin?" And they go,
God.
"What?" I said, "The Italian Harlequin." She goes, "I don't know what you're talking about." So I'm on Google.
Go home
I'm
and
on
look it
Google.
up.
I said, "There, look, go and read about it. That's why it's called a Harlequin bowl."
So basically, what you're saying, Steve, is you're old.
Yes, I am old.
Well, this is true.
I am old.
And cultured.
Well, I
And
won't, hey,
cultures, yeah.
I'm from
Old and
Norfolk,
cultured,
Stuart.
yeah.
I'm not cultured. I'm from Norfolk.
Culture stops somewhere before you get to Norfolk. Is that what you're saying?
we learned to ride tractors before we learned to read.
Tractors.
Oh, the boss is messaging me now. Right.
Oh no. Now you're in trouble.
Yeah. Right. Is there any more questions, Stuart, before we go?
Doesn't appear so.
No. Right.
Not on the chat anyway.
Right. Thank you, everybody, for coming over and joining us. Really do appreciate it. Thank you very much, Stuart, for coming back and joining us. Good to see you again, mate.
Pleasure.
And we'll hopefully catch
Was.
up in AWG at the seminar.
Definitely.
Oh, certainly.
So, and I'm glad to hear that retirement's going well, mate. I really am. Know that you're busy, so that's good. Right. So,
Yep.
Don't forget, everybody. Get your hashtag pictures over to me by next Friday if you want them in the montage. Other than that, have a great weekend. I won't be here Sunday because I'm at the craft fair. So other than that, I will see you the following Friday.
That's good timing, Steve.
What?
My wife's just arrived home.
Is she? There you go. Perfect. Right, and guys, thank you very much for coming over. Hope you've had a great evening, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys. Say night, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Cheers, everyone.
See you later.
night.
Bye.
Cheers.
That's all, folks.